In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to maximize your win rate with the Judas Swing, how to catch high profitable trades. So you may have seen many other videos on Judas Swing. You may have tested it and seen it has a very low win rate. I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can achieve a high win rate trading this model. Let's get started. So before we actually get started, I'm going to be going over some rules. So we have to mark out the 9:30 a.m. open. So we mark out the high and the low. And the difference in this strategy is the liquidity must be taken before 10 a.m. So your normal strategy would be marking out the high, the low, and once the high or the low gets taken out, we wait for a market structure shift and we enter. However, in this scenario, the liquidity must be taken out before 10 a.m. for the trade to be valid. Okay, so where do we mark out the liquidity? So we mark out our high and low on the 5-minute or the 15-minute time frame, and once we mark it out, we wait for either the high or the low to be taken, and then we drop down to the minutes time frame where we take our entry. So I'm going to show you guys two ways of increasing your win rate using this model. The first model, of course, is making sure liquidity gets taken out before 10 a.m. and the second being using the fib tool and making sure you're only taking buy positions when you're in the discount zone and taking sell positions when you're in the premium zone. So let's get started. So we're going to mark out our high and we're going to mark out our low. Now once we do that, we're going to wait for either the high or the low to be taken. So in this scenario, let's say for example the high gets taken. Now this trade would be valid. Why? Because liquidity has been taken out before 10 a.m. Candle starts. So what we would then wait for is a market structure shift, so something like this to occur, and then you'd wait for a fair value gap. If there's no fair value gap, once again there'd be no trade entry. So in this scenario there is a fair value gap, so we would mark out this fair value gap. Obviously this is a model example, so yeah, we would then wait for price to come and tap into this fair value gap, and once it does, we would take our short positions, start with the fair value gap, stop loss at the top, and we would target the opposing liquidity like this. Now that's one way of increasing your win rate, so making sure liquidity is taken out before the 10 a.m. candle. Now the second way of increasing your win rate, I'm just going to remove all of this so I can give you a better view. So the second way of increasing your win rate comes down to your bias. So let's say for example, let me just scroll this way. And so this would be our higher time frame bias. So let me put a box around it. So we would look at the 4-hour chart. So this box right here represents our 4-hour time frame. Let me just put it down here, 4-hour time frame. So this box right here is our 4-hour time frame. What we would do is get our fib tool and we would mark out the high and the low. And these are my settings, 0, 1 and 0.5. So if we are above this 0.5 level, we are generally looking for sell positions, and if we are below the 0.5 level, we are looking for buy positions. So in this example, I'll show you guys. The high gets taken out. We get a market structure shift on the minutes time frame. We tap into this fair value gap right here. So I'll go ahead and get my rectangle box. And we put our short position down, and the reason we are shorting is simply due to the fact that we are in the premium zone, and when we're in the premium zone we would be looking to take short positions. Now if any of this doesn't make sense right now, be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video, as I'm going to be going over a live example on the NAS 100 chart on exactly how you can apply this strategy. So I'm going to mark all of this off and we're going to be heading over to the example on NAS 100. And just before we do, guys, I just want to show you guys our client's profit for this month using our AI trading bot. You guys can see we ourselves got an £8,000 payout on by FTMO using our AI trading bot, and you can see other clients who's made $1,000 profit. Another client who passed their funded account challenge, FTMO using our AI trading bot. So if you are interested, the link is down below. Now we'll be moving over to the NAS 100 example. Right guys, we are now on the example. Be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video as you don't want to miss out any steps. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is mark out our high, and then we're going to mark out our low. Now remember what I told you guys about your higher time frame bias. So you want to go over to the 4-hour time frame, and what you want to do is get your fib tool and mark out the high and the low of the candle. So once again, this is our high and this is our low. So we've now marked it out. We're going to drop down to the 5 minutes time frame again, and this line isn't very clear. I'll just overlap it. There we go. And what we're then waiting for is the 9:30 open. Now to make your life easier, what you want to do is get an indicator called sessions on charts. So sessions on chart. So you want to get the one by Oro Rocks, and you want to use these settings. So you want to turn off every single session except the New York session, and set your time to 9:30 AM till 11:30 AM, and make sure you're on UTC4. Right, let's see what happens. So we have the 9:30 open right now, and we're either waiting for this high or this low to be taken. I'm going to speed it up so it's a bit more quicker for you guys. And just like that, the low has been taken. And what are we on? We're on the discount zone, so we are looking for buys. So then we're going to drop down to the minutes time frame, and what we're waiting for is a market structure shift. Once that occurs, we're going to wait for a fair value gap. If there's no fair value gap, there's going to be no trade entries. So let's see what happens. So as you guys can see, a market structure just occurred. And I'll put this in a different color. So the orange represents market structure, and I can spot a fair value gap right down here. It isn't a very clear one, but it would still be counted as a fair value gap. So what you then do is put your long position, start with the fair value gap. You'd put your stop loss below these lows, so you can target this low, but always to be safe, I would recommend going for the lowest low within the range, of course. And you would target opposing liquidity right up here, and that would be a 1 to 2.34 risk to reward ratio. So let's see if we get tapped into this trade first. I'm going to speed it up, and we are now tapped into this trade. I'm going to extend the PNL, and let's see what happens. So we're just consolidating right now, and as you guys can see, we smashed the TP level. This is the best way to trade the Judas Swing model if you want a high win rate. The normal Judas Swing model is 9:30 open, 9:30 AM open, wait for a market structure shift after liquidity high or low has been taken out, and then you just place your trade. But with this model, you're waiting for price to be taken out before 10 AM. So if I go ahead and get my vertical line and mark out 10 AM, you can clearly see before the 10 AM candle, liquidity was taken, and that's why this trade is valid and it is a high probability trade. Now if this liquidity was taken after 10 AM, I wouldn't class this as higher probability as it would have been if it was taken out before 10 AM. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And if you are interested in our AI trading bot, the link is down below. Thanks for watching.